Everybody wants to know what we're going to do about fireworks. Here's the man to answer the question. Wichita County Judge Woody Gossom.
Good morning. How are y'all doing?
Morning, sir.
Good. I think we got it all worked out yesterday. I'll sign the order when I go in effective noon today. What we really want people to do is to be courteous and be safe. And, for 95% of the people, we didn't need to tell them these things. They know you're not supposed to pop fireworks, shoot guns in the right-of-way off a public parking lot, anything like that. You don't go on people's land without permission. You're already committing trespass when you do that.
When you do the fireworks and cause any kind of a problem, any violation of the order you're going to sign is a $500 fine.
Yes, sir, and you can break multiple of those, and each one of them can be cited.
Well, the one that gets to me is the people that sit on the side of the road and shoot the fireworks.
And the trash that's left the next day. I mean,
they start a fire, and instead of calling it in, I don't think that deputy, if they're responsible about it, stay there, help them find it. I think that deputy, we've got good deputies, they're going to be pretty understanding. Now, if you're out there being a raving idiot, you're going to get the lottery ticket for that. We just want people to pay attention. And if the governor doesn't do that, if I were a landowner and you're coming on my piece of property, one, you need my permission.
Yes.
Two, I want you to bring those things and not burn my place up. Mm-hmm. And one guy said to me, well, what about it's my own land? When that fire starts and you don't control it and it leaves your land, you just picked up a whole new problem because you weren't doing those things that were
and of course it's not just necessarily land and property. Several years ago, we were out at David Shoup's place over near the river north here in that part of the county. Had a big fireworks display, but of course my grandkids want to take their own, which they had them. And Jill, our youngest daughter, she I'm not sure whether it was a Roman candle or it was some kind of a firing device, is all I know. And it fell over, stuck in the ground and fell over. Mm-hmm. And Greg, her husband, my son-in-law, it shot him right in the belly, and it caught his shirt on fire. I mean, he was sitting in a chair, and that thing hit him, and he was on fire.
Please tell me you got this on video.
No, but don't look smart enough. But
that was a fair mass of fire, too.
It was. Oh, man.
Sorry.
I couldn't pass
tell who I'll be pulled over by next now.
But anyway, all we had was all drinking. I just pumped Dr. Pepper. I just poured up Dr. Pepper all over his shirt. Half the time they get close to the fire, but I poured that thing all over it. And we put the fire out, beat it out, and beat it with Dr. Pepper juice. So
I'm just glad you weren't drinking whiskey that night.
Man, that would have ignited things worse, wouldn't it? Oh, y'all are terrible. Yeah. What else we need to know, Judge?
Just do what we ask you to do, and do it whether we're asking you or not. That's just a smart thing to do, and to work within the law, because most of what we're asking in this and directing is already the law.
Sure.
And a lot of people aren't aware of that. They know, well, okay, I'm not supposed to do it in the city, so I'll drive out to the country. And if we look at all the indexes, the Keach Byram, we don't qualify for that. We don't qualify if you look at the amount of moisture in the ground right now. But 2 days of good old North Texas wind and sun, we could be drier than popcorn.
It just sucks at moisture.
And what people want to know is we don't want to use that water for fires. We want to use that water to drink and preserve life. One thing we did change, I had put in there, have a 5-pound chemical fire extinguisher if you didn't have the pump-up sprayer. Well, one of the guys called me and said, are you sure you mean that? I said, well, that was what our fire guy suggested. Well, so I circled by Walmart after a meeting out at Shepherd. Well, $79 fire extinguisher is a little more than I was thinking about. So they have some residential, recreational ones that are 3 pounds or so. That's what we ask you to have. Those are $18. Pump-up sprayer at Walmart didn't have but one variety, and it was bigger than we were hiring. It was a bigger price tag.
Well, you can pick them at these farm stores.
But farm stores, they're under $20, and they had a pretty good supply of them. And, you can use it for more things than fireworks, but you ought to carry that every year if you're going on somebody else's land. And
what's the wind deal? I mean, if it gets
20 miles an hour.
If the wind's above 20 miles an hour, which is not today, it was yesterday, I think, but today we're south winds at 6, and they're looking at 10 to 15 mile an hour winds this weekend. So as long as you stay under 20.
Under 20.
And just get after it.
Yeah, and we want you to use this. Somebody said, well, how am I going to know it's 20 miles an hour? Somebody in the group's got a smartphone.
Now, the guidelines that you're going to sign into effect today.
Yes, sir.
let's say next week we jump to 110 degrees and 40-mile-an-hour winds, and every drop of moisture is sucked out of everything. Any chance that you would have to clamp down even tighter at this point? Could you change the rules on such short notice?
And that's an interesting question, whether you can sign a different order or not, and that one hadn't been tested yet.
Yeah.
I know that if the governor turns down this order, I can't reissue it again for another 60 hours. And that's all my order's good for by law, is 60 hours. That gives their office a chance to review it and determine.
Okay.
And what I'm trying to be sure they understand, it's the water that we're in. And I have a document signed by the governor that says we're a drought declaration county.
Yeah.
So I'm going to say, let's pay attention to that part of this whole deal. Mike, or the other thing, let's say we get 15 inches of rain. Somebody says, well, are you going to lift this? If the governor has signed it, quite frankly, no. Because it's there and it'll dry out again during that time that people will have fireworks. But what we're saying in this order is just what you should do any time you're going out to pop fireworks.
It should be a common sense approach.
6 inches of snow, no, but common sense, Mike.
Yeah.
But, as Ron White says, that's sometimes hard to find in 5% of the people.
And you can't fix stupid.
Oh, yes, absolutely.
So,